I'm excited to welcome the Hashi on for an interview today. They're a punk alternative three-piece from Orange County, and we're going to talk about all their music and time as a band thus far. Matt, and Ben, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Hey. Thanks for having us.
Of course. First, I just want to get my timeline straight here. So I know from just reading what I could online, Matt and Matt both met in high school back in 2006, and then somewhere along the line, you guys started jamming together, but didn't officially start the band until 2016. Does that all sound right?
Yeah, that's pretty close. We all knew each other in high school.
He's my twin brother, so
Right.
Twins.
yeah.
Yeah. But the two Matts, Matt and I, started the band, just us two jamming, and then we started shows around 2016.
Awesome. Okay, so what all led up to that decision to actually, take the extra step and become a band and kind of do this seriously? Is there like a defining moment you can point to?
We just started writing a lot of songs, and suddenly we had enough for a set. And my brother and I have been playing in another band our whole lives, so it was just kind of the logical conclusion to be like, all right, let's play some shows. Like, we're ready. We got
See what
this.
happens. Try it out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's show people what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that other band?
Oh, the Dares.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And we're both in that one. Yeah.
Same sort of stuff or different?
Similar, a little different, maybe a little bit poppier, but yeah, kind of. We used to be like a pop punk band. And it's more like alternative rock now. But yeah, similar vein. We play shows together sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, I don't want to make anybody mad here, but what's your guys' primary focus? Would you say it's this band or the other one?
Well, I mean, the other one's our first band, so like we haven't changed the commitment to that. And so like, I'm the lead singer in the other one, so my role as a bassist is very easy. I just kind of like, I'll show up and rock out on stage, and I don't have to worry about being the front man or the songwriter. So for me, the other one's more primary just because my role is a little bit bigger.
Okay. Just for you, having that like different dynamic, does that bring kind of a unique perspective to the band? Can you kind of weigh in on a lot of like frontman type stuff?
Yeah, I mean, well, like I don't have to be the front man, so like that's a weight off my shoulders.
For sure.
I don't sing lead, so I can just really focus on playing the bass and locking in with the drums. And I would say that that's also helped me with the other band because it's a good way to practice your timing as a musician and get another perspective on performing, just because like if you're not the front man, the dynamic's a little bit different, and you just have to play your stuff really tight and kind of just have fun. Whereas when you're the lead singer, it's like, oh, I got to make sure that we're all flowing, songs are good, we're entertaining the crowd and stuff. So yeah, they're different hats, but they inform each other for sure.
Yeah. Matt, would you agree on that perspective as frontman of this one, or have anything different to add?
Yeah, there's so much to think about being like lead singer. Yeah, I'm always like, thinking about lyrics or not messing up a guitar part or like, and then trying to stay in time with these guys. So there's like so much going on. Yeah, I feel the pressure all the time.
Yeah, there's more responsibility for that role. Yeah.
I can see that. Okay, so and then just kind of keeping on the topic of like the general group dynamic, that first EP that you guys put out, Family Jewels, that wasn't out until 2020, but you guys were already a band for years before that. So what did your time as a band look like? Was it just a lot of like playing local shows?
Yeah, well, definitely playing a lot of local shows. We tried to record 2 times before that, but for one reason or another, it just didn't work out.
It's because I wasn't in the band yet, probably.
Yeah.
I stood the missing link.
Don't let it go. No, yeah, so we tried to release stuff earlier. It just didn't work out. And then we were like, okay, let's actually release something. We've been playing a bunch of shows for like a couple years now, a few years. And yeah, so we finally released something after trying several times.
Cool. And that was, I think, now I went back and looked, I think it was like February 2020. Is that right? That came out?
Yeah,
you're putting it together pretty well.
Yeah, so, yeah.
We had a CD, EP release show scheduled for March something, and everything got shut down like a week before. So we just kind of like...
We had a big party planned, like all these good
So we just put it out on Spotify. I was like, all right, let's...
We're going to hunt it down for how long?
Yeah, let's see what this plague does.
Yeah. I don't want to talk like too much about the pandemic because, it's just a bummer. But if you can remember, do you guys think you could like speak on that experience a little bit? Like what was kind of going through your heads at the time regarding the longevity of the band? Like you guys just were, picking up and then all of a sudden had to stop.
I would say from my perspective was, oh crap, we can't play shows now and we're releasing music. But then it was like, well, we can still make music. We can still like continue as a band. I never questioned that like, oh, this is gonna kill the band long term. It was more like, well, this sucks. Let's do some live streams. So we did like a Halloween live stream show, and we did we just kept
we tried to work
online.
around it definitely, like the best we could.
Yeah.
To keep it going.
Other areas kind of took our focus. So my brother and I started getting really into recording, and started recording ourselves, both bands, and writing songs, and just kind of building up our new songs, new recordings. Obviously no shows, so I don't know. We stayed very busy.
Like we self-produced everything after that EP that came out was self-produced by us.
Okay.
And so that was us using our newly acquired skills from the pandemic of recording. So we just like, let's save some money and get better at this, and maybe we can. When you record yourselves, you get to do your vision how you see it.
Yeah.
As long as you have the skills to translate it. But yeah,
Right.
We made the best of it for sure.
Yeah, so having like experienced the like self-recording process and then also kind of the other side of things, do you prefer this way? Are there maybe some things that you can't do when you're just self-producing everything?
I mean, you're limited by your equipment and skills, and so like I think what's noticeable is that every recording sounds a little bit better each time we do it. There's trade-offs just because like all the work falls on you, and since we're kind of new recording, it takes us longer to edit and mix and stuff. But I would say overall, it's very liberating. Like we can just do what we want, record what we want, and not have to look at the clock or worry too much about money.
Yeah.
It's all upfront cost.
Yeah, I would say the
stressful.
only trade-off would be the workload that you now have to take on.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like if you're, paying for studio time or something like that, it maybe lights a fire under you a little bit more, to get something done. Yeah. Yeah. You haven't run into any difficulties like that at all, or?
Well, I have a problem with procrastinating, as a lot of musicians do. So I mean, it's taken us longer because like when you're paying a guy, there's like there's a pressure on him delivering it to you, or
That's true.
or her.
Yeah. Like you said, it was liberating, and I think that's super true. Just because we get to, if you're paying for studio time, you have to go and lay down your tracks, and there's less time to just kind of experiment with like what you add to it. And I don't know. I just think having the ability to record ourselves has just been a game changer. As far as our music, our sound, but also the experience of recording itself.
Awesome.
I agree with that.
Cool. Well, so kind of in the same vein of like recording and experimentation, in terms of like songwriting, I remember reading that singer Matt, was the main songwriter on Family Jewels. Is that different for any of your subsequent releases, or is like that dynamic within this band pretty much the same, where he writes most of the songs?
Still the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Writing it. Yeah.
All the ideas come from him, and then like even on the Family Jewels stuff, he brings it to the band, and then we all kind of like kind of play with the dough and make it our own thing. But all the song ideas come from him, and then we work on the arrangements and stuff.
Yeah, well, me and him have always kind of like, well, I co-write with you too, obviously. So the process usually looks like this. He'll have a song idea, and then I'll tell him what I think. I'll sort of like help him arrange it, and we collaborate in that way. So it is sprouting from his mind, but then it's like it's going through the machine of the Hashi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right through.
That's a great way to put it.
Just a meat grinder.
Yeah.
That's how the sausage is made. The Hashi. The Hashi sausage.
Sausage.
Yeah.
It's a nice ring to it, actually.
Good analogy.
Best metaphor ever.
Yeah. And you guys have agreed to in the past that writing music can be a great way to purge a lot of negative emotions in some ways that you might have. And everyone's, different with this. But do you find that the more you perform a song written under those circumstances, the less you feel about it? Or does the content of the song make the performance mean more to you?
Oh, that's a good question.
I think it means more to me. Like continues to build, and then I have this like, oh, that's like that song's my baby though. You know, like I have those emotions for it because I remember exactly what I was thinking when I was writing it, or and then having like the crowd there, it brings it all together.
I would say for me, it's literally both. So like the content of it and like the emotions you're feeling at the time, like you're definitely going to still feel something of that. But once you start performing a song, it kind of takes on its own life and it becomes something outside of it. And that's especially true for me as a drummer and a songwriter in the other band, where like, oh, this is a drum song, so I'm performing it. And it's more of a performance at that point. and the emotion's still there, but it's not like, oh, I'm reliving this like breakup every time I play.
It's
You know?
probably
Yeah.
cathartic in the beginning, and then it's like, okay, we did that, and now
Yeah,
we're
it just it becomes its
re-performing.
own thing,
Mhm.
and yeah.
Yeah, and there've been, I think you guys have been playing kind of a lot of shows recently, and you have like more lined up. Is that kind of your primary focus right now, or is there like more writing / recording that you're still doing?
Yeah, so
Both
recording
at
will be the
once.
next step.
Okay.
I think when did we put our last single?
St. Patrick's Day.
Was it St. Patrick?
I think
Okay.
St. Patrick's
Yeah, so
Day,
we're due
yeah.
to like start the process on the next batch of songs.
Mhm.
So that'll be our focus. But I think we just knew going into summer that we wanted to play as much as we can, especially since shows were happening and they've been happening for a while
Yeah.
now. But
Yeah.
but yeah, there's some pent up show urges that we needed to get out, and I think that's what
Well,
we're
yeah,
doing
we
now.
want to make up for lost time.
Yeah.
It's like the quickest way to grow.
Yeah.
And we didn't get our damn EP release, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're all
So,
we got
But
a
we're-
chip on our
like
shoulder.
even when
Mm.
we're busy playing shows, we're still jamming and writing all the time. So we try to do both at once.
yeah.
Okay,
We're always working on new songs all the time.
cool. Yeah, is there like a timeline that you guys have, or can we just like expect, I don't know, maybe some more singles, an EP, an album, maybe?
We'll aim for a single in the fall. I think that's probably a realistic timeline.
Single by Halloween for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Hopefully before.
Yeah, hopefully
before. That's
Yeah.
gonna be like
I would say
anything-
like a couple months.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've all been really busy recently. He's in grad school. I just graduated, so I
Oh,
have
wow.
a little bit more time. So hopefully that'll speed up the
Yeah.
process, and I have one less excuse for procrastinating now. So yeah, we've just been
we still
busy.
do it. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually really interesting. What does like that dynamic look like, having school or otherwise just other commitments in life, and then how do you balance that with like this band? Is it more of a creative outlet aside from that, or?
Schedules together with
Yeah.
everybody's work schedule and school schedule.
Yeah.
So it's like we have to find that one day out of the week to get together.
Yeah.
I think it's just natural, like as we get older, adult commitments, and
Yeah.
so like we still want to do music, and so if there's time, we'll make it work.
Mm.
And
But it's gotten harder for sure.
it's gotten harder and more stressful, but we still make it work.
Even after like a crappy day where I'm busy, like had class or
Super
homework,
tired.
it's still fun to play music, and it's still like it's a reprieve from all the other commitments.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean it's gotten harder, but it still tastes as sweet just to jam and stuff. So
Awesome. What are you guys studying, or what did you study, I guess?
Yeah, I'm going for my master's in public administration.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
and then I just started an internship with an assembly member. So I have another.
he's like
thing
a
to do.
staffer from Veep, is how I imagine it. Just-
Except way more boring.
and I got my degree in biology.
Oh,
So,
awesome.
looking for
Really cool.
biology related jobs right now and all that jazz. But yeah.
Cool. Couple of jacks of all trades.
Yeah, and then Matt also cooks too.
I cook at a restaurant. Yeah.
We all got other side
Wow.
passions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was an English major as an undergrad, so like that's just another random.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I majored in English.
Oh yeah.
Matt, have you seen The Bear?
Yes.
Do you relate to that a lot in your like life
Yeah.
as a
super-
cook? Oh,
actually,
really?
Like realistic, the way like the language,
that's what I
how
hear,
rushy, how crazy it gets. It's so
Oh,
that's
cool.
real. That's real.
That's really cool. Yeah, because I guess I worked in service, but I worked at like a Panera. It was nowhere near the same thing at all. So
Yeah, gotcha.
yeah, it's very different. But wow, okay. Well, now I have a new sort of take on that show. I guess we were kind of talking about songwriting for a little bit. I really wanted to talk about just kind of where you guys are located. So Orange County is honestly kind of the place to be right now for a band. It's a great community. Seems like there's always something going on. How do you think your area has helped you since being a band? And are there maybe some ways that have hindered your progress at all?
That's a good question.
I think it's helped us in many ways.
Yeah.
Like so, we had a lockout. It was like our first lockout.
Lockout studio.
Lockout
yeah.
studio.
Where you keep all your stuff and you can go anytime just in case someone doesn't
And that
know.
was right in Santa Ana. So just by being there, first we had like the ability to play whenever we wanted, 24 hours a day,
Awesome.
which really helped the writing process and jamming and whatever. But then also by being in a lockout, you just literally bump into other bands all the time. And then there's venues all around the area. So
Yeah, you're kind of tied into the community in a way that
yeah,
I feel like it's maybe harder to do in other places.
we didn't really have that when we were in Whittier or like
Yeah.
other places.
Mhm.
Mm.
So yeah, just you feel part of a scene, or immersed in the scene in a way that we didn't feel before.
Yeah.
And then another good thing about Orange County is that there's a lot of places to play, and then like he said, we're just bumping into bands, so it's easy to just jump on shows. Like, oh hey, we know of this band, and
Yeah,
like,
or we'll get invited.
yeah,
And
just all the
just like,
benefits of
yeah.
a musical community, which is like you kind of need to do at this
Yeah.
level of a band
For
that we're
sure,
at.
you all like lift each other up.
Awesome.
Yeah, I like Orange County. We're not from there originally. I mean,
Oh, okay.
we went to Whittier High School, so that's like closer to LA. It's like
Oh,
east
interesting.
of LA.
Yeah.
And then Matt and I were from Burlington, Vermont, but we moved to California when we were like 13. So
Okay.
we feel like Californians, but we also have like our East Coast experience as
Yeah.
kids.
Well, you guys are asking me how I like the East Coast compared to the West Coast. What about you guys?
Well, so I wasn't an adult on the East Coast. Maybe that would have been a different
yeah.
experience. And I feel like handling snow would have been a bitch.
Right.
But I love California, man. Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
like I don't know. I don't see myself leaving. It would take a lot for me to leave.
Mhm.
That isn't to say there aren't other great areas. I still like getting out of California and
yeah.
seeing places, but I
But it's nice to come back to.
I
it
love
feels like home now.
Yeah, I love the East Coast. However, California feels like home when I'm
Right.
here.
Okay.
And the like you mentioned, the food is just so great.
Yeah. It's really
Yeah.
good. I was noticing that you guys play a lot of shows with kind of longer local lineups. Is that a preferred layout for you guys, or do you like just the classic one opener, one headliner type of format?
I like the longer one, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's kind of like a safeguard against having empty shows, just because like
Hmm.
people bring like their friends and family, and then you get to perform. You kind of have like a guaranteed audience, and then I don't know. I think when it's just a couple bands, there's a lot more pressure to like, oh, that's got to be a good show. You got to draw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to deliver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, we have been kind of doing more like smaller festival-y type.
Yeah, that's what we've been
Things.
doing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there's just that's because there's so many bands out here. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I
A
like
lot of
it.
bands right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I hadn't really thought of just like, yeah, having more of a draw with more bands playing. You're gonna have more audience members, you know, because
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
it's a really great point. Do you guys have a favorite local band to play with?
Favorite local band? Ooh, I don't know.
There's a
Um,
bunch actually. Like
there's a really good band called Barum.
Okay.
Yeah,
We love to play with. They're really good.
we like My Machete.
My Machete,
um,
super good
yeah,
band.
we've met a
Cosmic
lot of
Kitten.
cool.
Yeah, there's just
We have friends in a bunch of bands like Film
Yeah.
Speed. Damn. We're
I know,
definitely
yeah.
answering this question. We're gonna leave out like
I know. I feel bad for everybody you mentioned, but we all love you.
Yeah.
This is cool though. It's giving me a lot more people to check out, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send you a list if you need.
Awesome. Yeah, I would love that. I watched another interview you guys did like 2 years ago. Same sort of format. It was like maybe an hour long. Forgetting the name of it, but regardless, you talked about some like really great moments that you guys have had while playing live. No, there's been a lot more shows since then for you guys. I always love to hear stories too. So have there been any other standouts since, like any great live moments?
probably. I'm
Probably.
Yeah.
We have COVID fog right now.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like that's just never going to end.
That's it.
yeah, we got
Um,
COVID. That was a high.
No, honestly, every time we have like a mosh pit,
Yeah, I was gonna say we had
it feels really great.
the show. We had like a home show over here at a new venue called FTG,
Oh yeah, that was really
and
good.
it just turned out to be like a great crowd, and they all responded to the music like right away. Like it was just like mosh pit.
Yeah.
We're doing something
Everyone
right
was having
with
fun. Every song was just like insane. So that was a good time for us. That
Yeah,
was
and
definitely a
especially
highlight
if
for me.
you're like a new band for a person,
Yeah.
even if they like you, a lot of times they're reluctant to like jam out. But at that
Yeah.
show, they just they went into
they lost it.
Yeah, lost their shit. It was cool.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
tight.
We've had some good shows recently, but it's just been like kind of run of the mill good shows. Nothing like
Nothing super
like
nuts.
someone fell off and broke their leg or something.
Yeah.
that you would remember.
It's
but-
more subtle, like oh hey,
Yeah.
we're actually like playing very well together. right now.
Yeah.
yeah, like
we didn't sound like
we get
this a
excited
week
for the
ago.
most boring shit, but like
yeah, yeah,
Yo, bro,
Those-
I love that G chord you did.
yeah. That's how it is.
You nailed it.
Lately.
yeah, I can't think of
Um,
anything.
I feel like we're gonna forget something, but yeah,
Yeah.
I can't think of anything crazy.
Well, that's fine. No, those are solid. Honestly, the little moments are what make it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Our Halloween show, dressing up like we're always stoked to do a Halloween show. So that was
Okay.
like another
Yeah.
like every Halloween we're always like, what
This
are we
is
gonna
full face
what are
makeup.
we gonna do? Like yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
Yeah.
was Scooby Doo, and my costume
yeah.
was like not wool, but it was a very thick costume. And playing drums in that is like
It was like he's
Uh-huh.
wearing Scooby's
Sweating
skin.
like a dog.
yeah.
Yeah.
They only set to the call. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I went to it was kind of a Halloween show last year. I think it was like on October 30th or something, but everyone dressed up anyway. And I kind of felt like I like didn't get the memo. I didn't even think about it. You know, I just hop in line and I'm like, oh, everyone looks really weird. So, but no, I love Halloween shows. Yeah. Cool. Always such a great energy. And just because of what people are wearing, it's cool.
I like when people are like just like shamelessly playful, and I feel like Halloween gives an excuse. Yeah.
Definitely. And speaking of playing live too, you don't have many songs out right now, but as I mentioned, you're playing very often. So what portion of your set is unreleased? And in your experience?
The majority.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, we have
70%.
Wow.
It's up there. It's up there.
It's like, what do we do? Like 10 songs live, and we've only
It
recorded
depends.
like
Sometimes.
6 of them.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes we do more than that.
But we have other songs we don't even play.
No, yeah, there's well, we have plenty just sitting there. A lot of eggs in the basket.
We got some recording
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah, there's a lot I actually want to start tracking.
Yeah.
Does that have much of an effect on like the crowd dynamic with some of your set being songs people just can't know?
They just don't know them.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Or they remember specific ones. They're like,
Because from live shows.
yeah, from the live shows.
Oh,
They're
cool.
like, can you play that one? They're like, we love that song. And I'm just like, damn, that's cool. Like,
But I do notice, like, if I've seen a certain person at multiple shows, or they get a little bit more into or seem to recognize the recorded stuff, which is like a sign that you should probably record the rest of your stuff. But yeah, that's what we need to do for sure.
Do you get like really strategic about the songs that you play that people might not know yet? Like, I've seen some bands play that maybe play like a lot of songs that I don't recognize from them, but they're always like kind of more catchy, more like easy to get used to quickly. Does that happen with you guys, like your process at all?
A lot of the times we'll just like look at each other between like songs, like, oh, what do you want to play?
Call in audibles.
Yeah, like sometimes we'll have a set list, but then we kind of forget what we wrote down. So we're like, let's play this. But usually if we are planning it out, we just try to have it flow like nicely. Like,
yeah, each show is about like making the best show and not what the audience might know, because we're not big enough yet to do that, or have like one big song that people are coming just to see.
Just
so
see that.
we get to just kind of like, what's the best experience they can have for a band they probably don't know very well, and that's kind of our approach.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to switch gears a little bit here and talk more specifically on influences, because I think it's a really interesting topic. At least as far back as late 2020, I was just reading one of your guys' interviews online. Some of your favorite bands at the time included groups like Skeggs, Beach Goons, Together Pangea, Idols, and I think The Chats was one of them as well. I can honestly say that if you combine the sounds of all those bands, you would honestly get something that sounds very much like the Hashi. Some bands,
Awesome.
Yeah.
We did it, boys.
We would love to play. We would love to play with all those bands. So.
yeah. No, that'd be sick. There's probably some, that show through more than others, but it kind of gives you something to listen for. Like makes it more fun, because it's like, oh, I kind of hear like Together Pangea there or something like that, and
Yeah.
absolutely.
But yeah, first on that, how have your influences changed over time, and I guess which ones are still like very much a part of your regular listening?
Our newest one, I think, was like Turnstile.
Yeah,
Ooh,
Really,
yeah.
like,
because of you. He shows me a lot of these bands, and
Yeah.
I kind of just listen to the same shit. I'm not listening to like a podcast in the car, but that's.
I mean, we're always like,
just aging myself.
Together
right?
Pangea is probably our favorite altogether band.
Uh-huh.
That's like a huge reason why we started this like whole project.
Yeah,
so.
we started going to their shows. Like he would invite me, and then
Yeah.
we're like, oh, they're so cool, and their sound is it's nostalgic but very fresh at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was really surprised at that. Like the newer album they put out, it was really good, and that was after a few years, I think, of like nothing.
Yeah,
Their
we
sound
liked
changes
it.
a little bit each time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We tweak it.
I don't know. Our songs like
We've been so busy with school. I haven't like discovered anyone.
Yeah.
and stuff I've listened to, but like sometimes I would just forget to even save it or something.
We listen to Pup a lot.
Yeah, I went through a big Pup phase.
Marlon
too.
Soho. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really like
Australian band.
yeah, I like
Yeah, we like
High
the Aus-
Tropics.
Yeah.
Oh, High Tropics are good.
Yeah,
There's a lot of like Australian, New Zealand bands. For whatever
Betty Ray's.
reason, they're like
Oh yeah.
indie version of like old school pop punk reimagined. Is like my sweet spot.
It resonates. for
Yeah.
Hits
sure.
you.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like random bands that we'll discover like as we're just, play some random playlists But then I feel like I always return to the stuff I grew up to as well,
Yeah.
especially in like, especially for this band and like the parts I choose to play.
Mhm.
I'm speaking personally, but yeah,
Like we all love Blink, Green Day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like old school Green Day too. That's kind of how I approach the bass parts I want to make up too. I mean, there's other influences, but
yeah.
I'm not originally a bassist, so I'm like definitely in the. I'm
Anti-Fly guys
emulating
make
people.
bass parts.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like anti-fly bass parts.
Yeah.
Do you try to incorporate some of those types of sounds into your writing, or does it just kind of happen naturally more of the time?
I think it happens naturally. You find a song or of a certain genre, and you want to write a song like that, and so maybe you end up using the same kind of genre signifiers
Yeah.
that already exist there, and maybe
Mm.
tweak them to your own sensibilities. But
It's,
Yeah.
I would say we definitely do that, but it's not as intentional. It's kind of like it's more passive.
yeah,
Yeah.
A heavy influence like was Descendants. That was always one of my favorite
hear
bands
that.
growing up. So I was like, I love this simple songs, straight to the point, 2 minutes and less. You know, I like all that.
that's fun to play live too, because that
That's
tends
sad.
to be a high energy.
Yeah.
So obviously, like, you know, your everyday lives kind of inhibit some music discovery a little bit, but how typically do you guys like tend to discover new music, or like what's maybe a preferred way that you like to come across new stuff?
Honestly, I get it from these guys a lot. They're like, "Hey, check out this new band," because
Yeah.
like I said, I don't.
Usually I'm on YouTube
Explore
and
that.
I'm
Oh,
always
right.
looking for, like new music videos.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
They're
I think a lot of Spotify playlists will introduce stuff
yeah,
to
that
me
Yeah.
too.
too.
Yeah.
Definitely that, but it's
And then
now-
local bands too. Recently,
Yeah, we're always
Yeah.
listening to.
It's surprising though how much is like word of mouth, considering like all the playlists and
All that. You
all
still
the
get it from
internet
your best friend or something.
ways. yeah.
Yeah, which is a great way for it to happen. I'm actually like kind of surprised at how good Spotify sometimes is at like recommending stuff. You know,
Yeah,
like
they
I,
got that down.
yeah, I don't listen to like Discover Weekly all the time. It's actually been a while since I have, but pretty much every time I do, there's another like favorite that's in there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you find the need to like keep searching for music because of what you do? Like,
Oh, that's a really good question.
sorry if I just became the interviewer
no,
by accident.
Yeah, this is my interview now. So no, thank you for that. Yeah, I don't think there's been any times where, you know, I want to do another interview, but I don't know who. You know, there's no one. I just think that
there's a lot of bands. You don't have
Yeah.
to look that hard.
I'll definitely go through phases of like, you know, I'll want to do a lot more discovery, or maybe I'll discover a lot of new bands. Then there's some phases where I just like don't listen to anyone new for like weeks or months, maybe. But yeah,
Okay.
I think there's. I don't know if you guys can relate to that at all, but
Yeah, I can
Definitely.
absolutely.
I don't really search it out that often, to be honest. Like, I'll hear a song or someone will recommend me, and then I'll go down a rabbit hole. But usually, I just stick to what's comfortable.
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know.
I hear you. I think most of the bands I probably come across are by accident. Or
Yeah.
like in terms of like, I don't set out to be like, I'm going to discover some new music right now, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I also like to just go into like a record store and pick out like a CD or even a record that I just don't know what it is and be like,
Cover.
oh, put this
Cover.
on.
I haven't done that in so
I
long, and
know.
that sounds awesome. I
That
feel
sounds
like,
really cool. Yeah.
like
I'll strike out sometimes, but most of the time, like it's, yeah, pretty good stuff. So
Yeah. I'm gonna do that.
that's a good idea.
Hell yeah.
yeah, it's fun. But something that came to mind was you guys obviously have like pretty busy personal lives. And aside from just like each other, what's an aspect of being in a band, writing music, performing music? What can you kind of point to that really like keeps you in it? You know?
I mean, there's a lot, I guess. There's the joy of playing and the outlet and the therapeutic nature of
It's
it.
definitely my medication that I need. So yeah. I know I need it.
Just being creative, like it
It's like the curse of the musician. Like, you just can't not do it. Like, it
Yeah.
just
It wouldn't make sense.
You get the bug
wouldn't
and-
feel right. You feel like
Yeah.
something's wrong.
yeah. It's very much a normal part of my life that I can lean on when I need to, and
Mm.
it's fulfilling.
and then being able to write your own songs. Like, obviously the self-expression aspect's really nice, but I always see
100%.
myself as a musician and then everything else too. So
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
it's
Just-
a big part of my identity for sure.
yeah, just the love of it. I mean, kind of a cliche answer, but it's what fuels us.
Well, I mean, it's a cliche for a reason, right? It's a classic.
Yeah.
So-
Classic motive.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, I do have one final question I wanted to ask you guys before we kind of close it out. Well, we've talked a bit about like shows you have coming up as well as some new music you have coming out hopefully soon. So what's like one thing that each of you are especially excited about for the band right now?
I'm excited to record the new stuff. Like, I want to get better at recording, and I love the being in the studio aspect of being in a band a lot. So I'm really excited to see what we can do as we're getting better recording, and with all these new ideas that we've kind of just compiled over the last year or 2 years.
I'm excited for our new fans that are on the way or that we've been, getting through all these local shows that we do. So it's nice to see like people that are really into it and they have like a Hashi shirt or
Oh, that's cool.
So it's cool. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, for me it's kind of both of those things. It's getting new fans and just watching the band grow in popularity, and then also being able to like develop and then like unleash our new music and our new sound, and like just have the new wave of the Hashi, and like it's gonna sound like us, but it's gonna be a little different too.
And we're trying new stuff. So.
Yeah.
Awesome. If you're in the Orange County area, you have a few opportunities pretty soon to catch the Hashi out in the wild, but otherwise, go stream their tight list of songs now and get ready for everything they have planned. Guys, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Ladies.